What's going on, my movie people? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you haven't yet seen my last video, go watch it, check it out, it's right here. I ranked all the MCU, but as I promised at the end of that video, I was going to review both Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, and that's what we're here to do today, guys. So let's not waste your time, and let's get right into the action. I feel like I'm not gonna shock anybody by saying this, but I think Deadpool was designed and made to be played by Ryan Reynolds. It's very apparent to me that this is his favorite character, and it shows in his performance in both the movies. He really likes this character, and when you read him in the comics, I'm sure you hear his voice. I personally haven't read any of his comics. I really wouldn't even know where to start, but one day I might check them out. Deadpool 1 and 2 for me are very similar movies. They're almost identical. I really feel like you shouldn't even call Deadpool 2. It's Deadpool 1.2. In Deadpool 1, we really feel for Wade Wilson in the first movie, and watching it for the first time when it first released kind of shocked me for how far he actually pushed it, or how far he could get away with, and surprised me, and actually was generally funny. The second movie I thought was going to be way more over the top than it was. It's kind of more tamed than I thought it was going to be. Deadpool 1 and 2 have pretty much the same type of jokes, and going back and watching them to do this video, it was very apparent to me that the jokes aren't as funny as watching them for the first time. In fact, one of the biggest problems with this movie is TJ Miller and all of his dialogue in this movie. Every single one of his one-liner jokes I found very cringy and not very funny. Deadpool 1, the story kind of hooks you, and even some bits are really hard to sit through, especially the scene where he starts getting his powers. I find that very hard to sit through. It makes me very kind of tensed up, and this is coming from somebody who loves horror movies. That scene right there really makes me not like it very much. I feel like Deadpool 1, because it's all over the place in the way that they're telling the story, I feel like that movie would have been much better if it just was in order and not chopped and moved around to suit with what was going on. But if it was just one continuation from the start to the end, I think it would have made this movie a lot better. It is a good movie, but I think it would have made it a lot better. With Deadpool 2 though, the storyline is much better, and you could tell that they had a bit more of a budget because they had more of a cast, more emphasis. Talking about budgets, Deadpool 1 had a budget of $58 million, $782 million. Funny enough, a fun fact about that, they were unaware that that budget included the press budget. So in the last scene, there was meant to be a big action set piece, like a normal 80s style action movie. But they were getting really close to going over budget, and that's why they did what they did with the swords and the very more grounded type fight. As for Deadpool 2, Deadpool 2's budget was $110 million, and it made just a tiny little bit more than Deadpool 1 at $785 million. Still both very successful in their own rights. I felt like Deadpool 2 had more of a chance to be a better movie, especially this one scene where the bad guy's running in slow motion, but Deadpool's not. And I was like, this is the first time I ever seen that, and I love that. That was really innovative. And I kind of wanted that movie to be more like that. The whole first montage bit in this film is absolutely outstanding. Having Juggernaut appear later on in the movie was also pretty shocking. But nonetheless, guys, unfortunately Deadpool 1 and 2 is pretty close to being the exact same movie for me. The only times that I found it funny, going back and watching this time, was the very unnecessary humour. I found Deadpool 1's main villain a lot more thrilling and interesting than I did Deadpool 2's main villain. But Deadpool 2 had a much better storyline with Cable and the time traveling aspect of it all. Fun fact about Deadpool 2 though is that, you know, the scene where Deadpool's making fun the fact that there's no X-Men, and then they show the X-Men shutting the door. A is the funniest joke in this movie, and B, they shot that over on the other stage where they're filming X-Men The Dark Phoenix and sent it over so Ryan Reynolds could put it into his movie. But like I said, guys, Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 are pretty much the same movie for me, and that's why Deadpool 1 and 2 are both going to get 4.5 stars. What do you think of these movies? I'm kind of glad I went back and watched them. And if you haven't watched them yet, maybe you should go do that, because later this week, Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine is dropping. And with that said, guys, I will be back here on Friday, early Friday morning, with a review of Deadpool. I've got my tickets. Have you got your tickets? Please, if you made it to the end of this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. Follow me on all social medias. Links are down below. And until then, guys, be well, be safe. Have yourselves a great week.